What is superannuation? Superannuation, according to the Australian Taxation Office, the ATO, is money put aside by your employer over the course of your working life that you live on once you retire. Superannuation is extremely important as you need a good amount of money to live off when you're no longer working. As long as you continue to work and make regular payments to your super, your investment will grow until the day you retire or until you reach a certain age. Why was super introduced? Did you know that up until the mid-1980s, less than 40% of the working population had superannuation? That figure was even less for blue-collar workers and women, only around 25% in fact. By 1992, compulsory super, the superannuation guarantee, was introduced, requiring all employers to make mandatory contributions for their employees. This new scheme allowed millions of working Australians to now enjoy superannuation benefits of their own, and this helped relieve the growing burden on the taxpayer-funded government pension scheme. How does superannuation work in Australia? Superannuation is paid by your employer into a super account of your choosing. Your employer is required to pay a minimum of 9.5% of your ordinary time earnings into this Superfund on top of your yearly base salary. Example given, if your annual base salary is $100,000, you will get $9,500 in your super. Once this money is placed into your Superfund, it is then invested by your superannuation company. Sample investment breakdown. Do you need to have a Superfund? If you're an employee in Australia and you meet the minimum requirements, then you are required to be paid super by law. You must be paid super, regardless of whether you are working as casually, part-time, full-time, as a contractor, and even if you are a temporary resident in Australia. What is the Superannuation Rate Guarantee, or SG? The Superannuation Guarantee, SG, is the compulsory 9.5% superannuation contribution that employers must pay into their employees' superfunds. Here is a table showing how SG has changed over the years. What types of superfunds are there? What's the difference? Within that tax structure, there are various types of superannuation funds, including retail superfunds, industry superfunds, corporate or public sector funds, self-managed superfunds, SMSFs. Retail funds, typically run by banks or investment companies. Anyone is usually able to join. Offers the widest range of investment options, excluding self-managed superfunds. Offers various insurance products through the fund. May offer access to financial advice. May offer the ability to view your super alongside other savings accounts. Have employer-sponsored divisions within the fund. Large organizations such as banks and insurance companies tend to run retail superfunds. Retail superfunds include, for example, AMP Flexible Super, Bendigo Smart Start Super, Bendigo Bank, BT Super for Life, Westpac, ING Direct Living Super, ING Direct, MLC Masterkey Super, NAB, Colonial First State, Commonwealth Bank, OnePath, ANZ Bank, Suncor Everyday Super, Suncor. Industry funds. Some are open to anyone while others are limited to employees in specific industries. Different funds available to reflect different industries. Amount of investment options available is usually smaller than with retail funds. Industry funds are not-for-profit organizations. Some of the best-known industry superfunds include Australian Super, REST Industry Super, Sun Super, Host Plus, NTAA Super, LUCRF Super, CBUS Super, Legal Super, HESTA, and more. Corporate funds. Set up by an employer for its employees. Membership is usually restricted to current and former employees. May run as an industry fund or a retail fund. Group insurance is often negotiated by employer with the trustee on behalf of its employees. Self-managed superfunds. A private superfund that you manage yourself. Can have up to 4 members who are also trustees and responsible for decisions and complying with laws. No membership fees, but costs include the cost of administration, investing, accounting, and auditing. More control of investment choice. Generally only cost-effective for people with certain amounts of superannuation assets. The table in the figure shows an overview of Superfund accounts and assets by fund type. what all should we consider when choosing a superfund? Choosing an account with lower fees. What are the common superannuation fund fees? Administration fees. Cover the cost of the administration and operation of your fund. Investment fees. Cover the management and investment of your savings into assets like shares and property, etc. Indirect costs. Costs paid to external providers that affect the value of your investment. Advice fees. Cover professional advice provided for your super and investments. Switching fees. Cover switching your super fund to another. Buy or sell spread fees. Cover charges for transactions to and from your fund, including contributions and withdrawals. Insurance premiums. Cover the cost of the insurance your super fund provides. Exit fees. Fees for bailing out or closing a super fund. Activity-based fees. Fees charged for a specific service like splitting your super after a marriage, separation, etc. Here is a chart showing how much difference in super balance can small fees make. Comparing your fund's performance with others. A small difference in average super performance, as little as 1%, can really add up over the years. Here's a hypothetical example. That's why when looking at a super fund's past investment success, simply looking at a 12-month difference may not be enough. It can be a better idea to look at that fund's performance over many years, which is something you'll be able to find on your super statement. Combining accounts if you have more than one. Having 2 or more super accounts from different workplaces means you're paying 2 or more sets of annual fees. That's crazy. With 30 million member accounts and only around 8 million Australians aged between 20 and 80, there's definitely some duplication there. So instead of your boss contributing to a new fund every time you change jobs, consolidate your super accounts into one fund you're happy with. Checking your insurance before you change funds. More than 70% of Australians that have life insurance hold it through super. Most super funds offer life, total and permanent disability, TPD, and income protection insurance for their members. When reviewing your insurance, check if you're covered through your super fund. Compare it with what's available outside super to find the right policy for you. Super funds typically offer 3 types of life insurance for their members. Life cover, also called death cover. This pays a lump sum or income stream to your beneficiaries when you die or if you have a terminal illness. TPD insurance pays you a benefit if you become seriously disabled and are unlikely to work again. Income protection insurance, also called salary continuance cover. This pays you a regular income for a specified period. This could be for 2 years, 5 years, or up to a certain age if you can't work due to temporary disability or illness. How much super do I need before I retire? When it comes to retirement, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. However, to give you a rough guide, the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, ASFA's 2018 Retirement Standard Report suggests that singles would need $545,000 in super, and couples would need a combined $640,000 to fund a comfortable retirement. What exactly is a comfortable retirement? According to ASFA, it would enable a healthy retiree to be involved in a broad range of leisure and recreational activities and purchase things like a reasonable car, good clothes, electronics, as well as domestic and occasional overseas travel. Does it cost money to change super funds? Super funds cannot charge you a fee for moving all or part of your money to a different fund. Legislation banning exit fees came into effect on July 1st, 2019, as part of the government's Protecting Your Super package. How to find lost super. According to the Australian Taxation Office, ATO, there are more than 6.2 million lost and ATO-held accounts. As of June 30th, 2019, that adds up to $20.8 billion of super money potentially being lost because an individual is uncontactable, has let their account become inactive, or hasn't claimed their money. According to the ATO, your super fund will report you as a lost member in one of the following situations. They have not been able to contact you. They have not received any contributions or rollover amounts for you in the last 5 years. Your account was transferred from another fund as a lost member account and no new address has been found. Forgotten super is money, your money, that is potentially being eaten into by administration fees and life insurance premiums. Multiple unclaimed super accounts could mean multiple annual fees and insurance premiums being subtracted. In some cases, Fees could be deducted until idle accounts run out of money and are closed.